The SKORNE Empire, Part 3. The life of a warrior. Every SKORNE is keenly aware of the position of his caste, his prominence, and the relation of both of those to his superiors, peers, and inferiors. Though all warriors in the SKORNE army are members of the same overall warrior caste, there are subtle but important distinctions within this group. Because of the size of the warrior caste, many warriors also perform tasks normally relegated to lower castes in the day-to-day execution of their duties. For example, many houses encourage or require their warriors to learn the crafts of making armor or weapons. How much of this work a warrior might do without loss of status is one of the indeterminate subtleties of SKORNE caste interaction. Among house armies in the East, where workers and slaves are more numerous and plentiful, there is less need for a warrior to lower himself to perform these menial tasks. This situation changes considerably when the lower caste's support is minimal, such as within the army of the Western Reaches. Then soldiers must be more flexible and contribute to tasks requiring the construction of new settlements and fortifications, as well as the upkeep required to house and feed an army. Warrior disciplines. Praetorians are the backbone of virtually all SKORNE armies, the baseline among all warriors measured. Their training emphasizes close-quarter fighting, utilizing a variety of traditional weapons intended for distinct roles on the battlefield. These include the pikes and shields employed by the defensive Karax, the long cavalry spears mounted on Ferox cavalry, and the dual blades wielded by the most numerous of swordsmen. A long-standing rivalry exists between the Praetorians and the Cataphracts, to which of their disciplines holds the most true to the Hokusune code. Praetorians believe that with their emphasis on the first strikes, speed, and precision, they are most closely representing the ideals of Volxarus, while Cataphracts are most universally respected of the martial disciplines, famed for their resistance and stamina. Only the larger and more physically powerful SKORNE warriors may become Cataphracts, and only the wealthiest houses can afford to outfit and maintain the exotic armor and weaponry that they use. Many of the most devout adepts of the Hokusune code are found among the Cataphracts, who have a reputation of being of incredible stoicism. Trained to endure extreme privation and the most inhospitable of environments, Cataphracts embody their people's ideals of life and death. They are expected to hold the most dangerous positions in battle and revel in such opportunities for a glorious death. Many of the most honored exalts were Cataphracts in life, including possibly Vuxarus himself. Venators, trained to fight at range with reveres and heavy siege weaponry, occupy a lower sternum of the warrior caste. Their betters view the Venator tradition with disdain because such ranged practices distance a warrior from his enemies at the time of death. In centuries past, the Venators fought with javelins, slings, and other thrown weaponry. Their modern armaments require significant skill and training, however, and they now play an integral role in SKORNE military strategy. Their tactical usefulness has led to a grudging respect for their discipline, particularly within the army of the Western Reaches, but Venators are never candidates for full exaltation. The closest they can arrange is to become honored companions by the timely intervention of ancestral guardians in the heat of battle. Other castes. Not all combatants in the SKORNE military are members of the warrior castes. Their armies would not be able to function without the considerable support of specialists drawn from the worker, extoller, and pain-giver castes. All SKORNE greatly value the accompaniment of an extoller in combat. Only as a master of those arts can preserve the spirits of the fallen. Simply the appearance of an extoller on the battlefield can raise troop morale, and few tyrants fail to take advantage of that fact. Because extollers rarely judge a philosopher or a scholar worthy of preservation in a sacral stone, they often occupy a singularly high standing amongst the worker caste. Even house lords treat them with respect for their unique ability to contact the ancients. Extollers provide other services for military forces as well. The most talented amongst them can persuade ancestors to accompany their descendants into battle. Housed in carefully crafted vessels, the spirits of the exalted become powerful guardians. Each exalted yearns to take part once more in the glorious battles of his people. These ancestral guardians are potent warriors and can act as reciprocals for the spirits of scorn who have perished near them, allowing extollers time to decide which spirits are worthy of exaltation and which will receive the lesser honor of becoming companions to the exalted. Another important component of the SKORNE fighting force are the pain givers, who fill specialized roles in great numbers. They tend to the great war beasts the SKORNE take into battle with them, goading them into combat and mending their injuries in camp. Though the puissant warlocks who lead the greatest cohorts can command their beasts directly, most SKORNE commanders rely a great deal upon subordinate beast handlers. More than simply herding beasts, pain givers can maximize the destruction wrought by the creatures under their command. The most expert among them knowing exactly how far they can push their dangerous charges before the creatures become unable to differentiate friend from foe. The best know when such casualties are acceptable. Armies of the Eastern Tors. Before the military was reformed, the term cohort and army were almost synonymous. Tyrants were informally referred to the soldiers under his command as a house army. Dominars, able to field multiple cohorts, referred to their collective might as a sabbath, a term that signifies a great host of allied cohorts. Since Ventor's reforms, the term army formally denotes specifically large regional forces comprising multiple sabbaths and commanded by an archdominar. An army protects each Tor, which is a large administrative region of the SKORNE Empire. Sabbats are divisions of these armies, each controlled by individual dominars or more rarely, lord tyrants. Beneath the Sabbats are cohorts commanded by subordinate tyrants and lord tyrants. There are 6 Tors in the Eastern Empire and 6 armies that protect their borders, internal garrisons, and significant settlements. The 3 innermost Tors contain the largest populations and wield the most economic and political power. First among them, both in wealth and prominence, is Tor Halak, which includes the SKORNE capital of Halak and is led by the ruthless archdominar Korinvas. Tor Kademe is in the southeast of the empire and is the most fertile territory, producing the bulk of its food, which leads undeniable clout to the ruling archdominar Jozal of the House Murkat. This region also includes the expansive ocean of grass, which most of the empire's titans originate, and it is here that SKORNE-like Dominar Rashef of House Telar has made their fortune. The third major interior region is Tor Malphas, named for the first city of the SKORNE Empire and set deep within the Shroudfell Mountains. Archdominar Loketh of House Jakar rules here. The 3 Tors on the periphery are more barren and sparsely settled. The northern marches, controlled by Dominar Leskar of House Kuroskik, has the smallest population and correspondingly the smallest army. Tor Sarikan of the eastern border, held by Archdominar Hesrask of the House Zukran. Tor Zortan of the western border is controlled by Archdominar Jaukir of the House Muskar. Though each of these great leaders retains an army of their own, the number and sizes of their cohorts has significantly reduced by the laws requiring warrior contributions to the army of the western reaches. This remains a powerful disincentive for any of the Tor leaders to formulate rebellion while the Supreme Archdomina is away. The main agency in place to ensure the obedience of Eastern Tors is the newly unified Paingiver caste under the command of Lord Tormentor Morgul. Many Paingivers have joined the Western conquest, but a great number remain in the East to safeguard against conspiracy. Another essential tool in the service of the Empire's unity and oversight is the group called the Bonded Porters, established by Ventor himself to assure the flow of supplies across the Empire despite the competing interests of individual houses. Though individually powerless as an extension of the worker caste, this group is vital to the Empire's logistics and is protected from interference by harsh laws. The Porters have smoothly adapted to their new Supreme Archdomina, even though they are considerably more prone to internal corruption than the Paingiver caste. As long as supplies continue to flow, however, internal indiscretions are often overlooked. The SKORNE traditionally have not considered themselves a unified people, invariably looking no further than their own immediate tyrant for direction. The numerous houses are prone to vicious feuds, and it takes an extraordinary individual to maintain power over the complex inner-house rivalries. The Supreme Archdomina possesses enormous political capital, however, and the obvious loyalty of Lord Assassin Morgul is a formidable deterrent. House Balash retains its estates near the capital, and from there exercises considerable influence over the eastern center of the government. Dominar Lozal of House Balash, a respected warrior and blood relative to Makeda, has been promoted to maintain the family estates and to wield House Balash's political might in the capital during Makeda's absence. To be continued in Part 4.